some of these drills can just be done better. Hey, what's up team? This is Coach Abraham checking in with Arm Muscle Strength and Conditioning. And for today's video, I got my second react video. So I'm going to be reacting to the Real Madrid trainers and really all their drills, their change of directional drills, the resisted sprint drills, things they're doing in the gym, the warm up, all that good stuff. It seems like you guys really enjoyed when I reacted to the Manchester United training sessions. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you check it out by clicking the link up here. And just in case you're wondering who the hell am I and what gives me the right to react to these professional footballers and to these professional trainers, well, here is a list of the current teams and leagues of players who I currently train or who I previously trained at. So guys, without further ado, let's just get straight into this video.
Yeah, top of the morning, I know that you thought I was dormant. Woke up early from shots that was swarming the block.
So we begin with some resisted drills. We see Luka Modric right here. He's going into a cut, a change of direction, and then he's cutting back and sprinting, all right? So we all know, and there's plenty of research out there, guys, on the benefits of resisted training. All right, so you can check out all these studies I have up here. They're really trying to overload that acceleration and they're trying to overload that cut, right? So by overloading the cut right here, as you guys are seeing, we're able to get a bigger stimulus. And especially with these footballers who have a higher training age, who actually need a higher training stimulus, right? This is needed so they get that overload, right, in that cut, and then boom, they explode away, and now they're really just maximizing all those qualities. In comparison to just doing it unresisted, can they see gains unresisted? Absolutely. But you know, these trainers have been training them for a long time, and throughout this time of the season they chose to do these drills, and they're like, hey, you know what, now we need an extra stimulus, and this is the stimulus that we're choosing, right? I've been saying stimulus a lot. If you want to cop my new merch, my new socks, guys, they're out as well. I'm excited. Only right now, domestic shipping in the United States. And then we go on to, I see Asensio, we see Cruz, and they're just doing some dynamic warm up right here. Yeah guys, honestly, like nothing too fancy. And then we got some lateral skips with the extended legs, just warming up the body. Just find it interesting that Ancelotti, he's just standing and looking at the boys warm up instead of like the guys, they're doing rondos in the back. Looks like Ancelotti is really into this warm up. All right, and now we're gonna go into a little bit of gym work, and as we can see, we have some sort of like pull-off press variation, more really getting that anti-core and in a dynamic fashion, getting that rotational strength. Now we go on to some rows with a single leg balance, and my theory is that they're trying to maximize, you know, their time in the gym, so they go on to a single leg balance, and then from there they're going on to rows, so they're hitting two birds with one stone. They're getting one, single leg stability, and two, they're getting that strength for that posterior chain of the upper body. I forget this new kid right here, but he's like half repping these. Some of these players do not like being in the gym, right? Especially in the club setting, right? And I speak from experience. Some of these players are gonna half-ass some of these things, and that's just kind of the thing that you got to deal with, right? And it's your job. How can I make it the most engaging so they're getting the most out of it, right? And now we see them doing rows, and as we can see, right, personally, I don't think they're maximizing this because they're going almost onto a squat. First of all, if this was a squat, they're not really getting much of a stimulus out of it, unless maybe they're coming back from an injury and they're like, hey, like we need something lighter. They can't use their full body yet for squatting, but I don't think this is the case right here. It's just lack of focus, in my opinion. I don't want to turn this into me talking smack over the trainers, right? I'm sure they got great trainers, right? As we've seen in some of these drills, it's just I'm giving you my input that some of these drills can just be done better. There's just gonna be some BS out there in the professional setting, unfortunately. He's doing some more single leg work with that ball, so maybe he's getting some shoulder mobility, some shoulder strength, and he's getting some single leg stability, right? So we see Hazard as well. They're chopping down, so utilizing that core as well and really having to stabilize on that single leg. Ab work, we got some Copenhagen's. Copenhagen's is one of my favorite exercises. If you use any of my programs, whether it's general or you work with me online, you know this is one of the foundational exercises for footballers so we can maximize that adductor strength. Sometimes we overuse this injury in football and soccer, right? And I'm gonna just use those two words interchangeably, guys. We need to make sure that we're strengthening those muscles so we can prevent injuries down the line, right? And then we go on to some bouncing hurdles, and about these unstable surfaces here, like I'll get to that like here in a bit. Maximizing single leg power, and if you see they're looking at a screen, I believe they're looking at the wattage of how much power they're producing. Here we're gonna go on to now they're timing their acceleration. I believe this is 10 meters based on the distance. I'll tell you who has just the ideal technique. This guy right here, I cannot see who this is on the right side. Just good technique. That head is down, and this is more like talking from a track standpoint. All right, a lot of these speed drills and speed training we take from track coaches, and then we just apply it to the team setting. We don't got to be super strict with it, or as far as like technique needs to be down on point. As long as they're running fast, they're getting that stimulus. Obviously there's gonna be some things that we do need to change. Then we got some more resisted sprints. Again guys, if you want to look at the research, there's plenty of research on why resisted sprints is so good, and the load and the amount of volume that you should be doing in the week. This is something that I do with a lot of my athletes, and I have seen great results as far as increasing power and increasing their 10-meter distance. All right, this is why we constantly use it to overload that acceleration, because whenever you go onto an acceleration drill like this, the sled pulls, you're gonna be mimicking those angles. We're back into the gym. We got Odegaard, and man, I'll be honest with you, don't really know what he's trying to get out of this. If this is more to trying to get that hip extension, which you see his trainer telling him, hey, you know, like maximize that hip, pushing through like this. I mean, I think this could be done way more efficiently, okay? And if I can find some videos on for what I'm thinking that this is, I'm gonna put it right here. But, you know, if anything, all he's getting is a single leg stability, if that. And now we're seeing squats on the Smith machine, and I think people sometimes see this and they're like, man, he's wasting his time. And actually, this is a very advanced form of training. Essentially what he's doing is that he's getting into these specific joint positions, and he's just working the muscle, that co-contraction. To put it very simple, more reactive and just powerful. Now we got a single leg step up, exploding up. I forget what this is called exactly, but he's exploding off. And okay, so talking about platforms that are unstable, why I don't like them is that it's just not specific to the game. You're losing force as you are pressing up into it, because in order for you to maximize force and get that like vertical, you need a hard surface. There's a time and place for this, definitely. Maybe he's doing this to engage the athlete. As a coach, you got to understand these things as well. Maybe instead of just keeping it balanced here, balance and stick here, right? Because maybe he's practicing on balancing and absorbing impact coming back from injury, or just very, very, very basic stuff. Like this is like low stimulus stuff, which some players may need, again, coming back from injury. I don't know his case, but maybe he's adding that just to, you know, like keep the player alert and awake, put him into the zone. Right, these are things that you got to think of as a coach. If I have a regular player who's just like disciplined and says, man, like give me what I need, you know, I'm not going to give him this. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down anything that you have any doubts or questions over, especially if you're a professional in the field and you want to have a good discussion why things are included or why they're not. If you agree with what I say, if you disagree, if you're a troll, well, go ahead and do your thing. I'm probably not going to reply to you, or maybe I will, who knows, guys. So hey, thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to check out my training programs, my online coaching. Check out all the feedback I have gotten from my clients, real testimonials, real results to get you to that next physical level, guys. So hey, thank you so much for watching. If you want to cop my new merch, my new socks, guys, they're out as well. I'm excited. Only right now, domestic shipping in the United States. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Open my book, rip it up with a pen, and open my mind and get at it again. I really do not know where to begin. My mind is always on my kin. My creativity on 10 was never raised with silver spoon, but my mental state make it bend. What do you mean I come again? Out of this world like fourth and men, so much more than mortal men.